Not so long ago, if we wanted to buy a titanium watch on AliExpress, we had a choice of possibly 2 or maybe 3 brands and a price tag of around $300. However, only within a few months we have now almost 20 different watches to choose from, and we are witnessing such an unprecedented price war that we can now pick up a titanium watch for under $100. Truly remarkable, and Boderry is one of the titanium flagship brands that recently came up with this really cool timepiece. But how is the quality and how is the design? Well, let's take a closer look at it and find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Yes, we talk about watches and do watch reviews here, so if this is your thing, don't forget to subscribe by hitting that subscribe button over there so you don't miss any future reviews. Price. Yes, I paid $95 for this Boderry Titanium field watch. This watch comes in a few different colorways and on a good quality nylon strap. However, it looks like now Boderry also introduced a titanium bracelet option. The bracelet option is, of course, a bit more expensive, or you can buy the bracelet on its own for $42. Also, it looks like the titanium bracelet has a quick release feature, which is pretty cool at this price point. Naturally, there will be links in the description of this video to the bracelet and to this watch, so do check them out. And my guess is that Boderry might be doing some additional discounts during the August end of summer sale, which starts on the 22nd of August, that is in about 10 days, so I would recommend to keep an eye on the price. And in the usual format, we will go through the details and specifications of this watch, and at the end I will share the verdict with the positives and, of course, the negatives that I can find. Boderry's packaging definitely deserves special attention. A pretty cool sort of shipping container-like plastic box, very robust and will serve as a good protection from knocks and bumps. Inside we'll find a warranty card, a booklet with a user manual and stamped warranty certificate, and of course the watch, well wrapped and protected. The only note here is that the package drawer part tends to slide out quite easily, so it might be a good idea to hold it securely when carrying the box around to prevent it from sliding out by accident. This is my first Boderry watch and I definitely like the approach to packaging, designed with taste and at the same time not over the top and to the point. Okay, dimensions. The case is 40.1mm measured across and the fixed bezel is 38.2mm in diameter. The case height is only 11.5mm or effectively 11.2mm if we measure from the surface of the recessed sapphire crystal. We have 22mm lugs. This might seem a bit on the wide side for a 40mm case, however, I think it works well with these quite substantial lugs on this tool watch. And to continue the theme of a tool watch, we have a 22mm Zulu-style nylon strap with no taper. Lug tip to lug tip distance is 49.1mm, however, because lugs are very prominent on this watch, I also measured the spring bar to spring bar distance, which is 46.7mm, so the effective lug-to-lug distance is somewhere in between, and I would estimate it to be about 48mm. The full-length supplied nylon strap should cover wrist from just over 6 inches or 15.5 cm to just over 9 inches or 23.5 cm in circumference, so very versatile. I will do wrist shots on 7-inch and 6.25-inch wrists later in this video. On the fully supplied nylon strap, this watch weighs 74 grams, and without the strap, the titanium watch head is just 51 grams in weight. Nice and light, as we would expect from the watch made out of titanium. Case. In terms of the case material, it is of course a titanium, however Boderry doesn't specify what grade of titanium they used. Well, they do say solid titanium in the product listing, and that's about it. What looks like a bit blasted finish is actually very consistent and of a good quality, and is the same throughout the case, including on the fixed bezel. As a matter of fact, I had a few knocks and bumps while filming this watch, but I don't see any marks or macro scratches as I would usually have. So it looks like the surface of this titanium case is quite robust. I like how well the case is executed and the way the twisted lugs are sculpted. The twisted lines are a bit reminiscent of Omega twisted lug forms on Speedmaster and Seamaster watches, which is quite nice. So Boderry did make a mark on the case design, however I can't give full marks for originality to Boderry here, but more about it later. We have a screw-down signed crown at the 4 o'clock position, protected by crown guard on one side and a chunky lug on the other. The crown operation is smooth and we can see a rubber gasket, which should help with dust and water resistance. I can see that we have 2 possible positions for the spring bars, possibly one is used for titanium bracelet or possibly for additional options for a thinner straps, or maybe for both cases. The screw-on back case has a similar finish to the rest of the case. We also have an engraving of a boat steering wheel, which is kind of in line with the theme of this watch name, a Voyager. And we also have some spec highlights engraved on the perimeter. Boderry declared 100 meters of water resistance on this watch, which means we can wear it while swimming, so it is a very robust and practical timepiece. We have a flat sapphire crystal here. The crystal is installed just below the bezel level, which will possibly provide additional crystal protection. I couldn't find any mention of anti-reflective coating, but legibility is very good, so no complaints here. Movement. Well, in regards to the movement, Boderry decided to go with the Miyota 8215 caliber here. It beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, contains 21 joules and has about 42 hours of power reserve. It is a well-established, reliable and robust Japanese movement, however, it wouldn't be my first choice if it was up to me. For a couple of reasons. First, this is not a hackable movement. That is, the second hand does not stop when we pull the crown into the second position to adjust the time, which a watch called Voyager could definitely benefit from. And the second point is that 8000 series Miyota movements are kind of known to have somewhat more audible or somewhat more noisier rotors compared to, let's say, similar Seiko movements. Dial. Okay, the dial is done very well. I couldn't spot any quality control issues, which is good. The dial on this watch has a dark matte black background. Everything is printed, including the minute chaptering, our indices and the text. We have 12 and 24-hour markers, which goes well in line with the aesthetics of this watch. We have titanium and 100 meters wording on each side of the 6 o'clock marker. It is asymmetrical, but I think it is kind of balanced out by the asymmetrical position of the date window at 4 o'clock. And it doesn't look out of place, but rather adds a bit of interest to this very much purposeful tool watch dial. We have syringe type hour and minute hands and a lollipop second hand. All the hands look to me well proportioned and of a good length. I like the big lollipop point on the second hand, which is well filled with lume, by the way, as we will see in a moment. And I also like the second hand counterbalance and the splash of red on the tip, which works well with the red writing above 6 o'clock marker. Okay, let's take a look at the lume shot. Boderry used a Swiss 3C Superluminova according to their listing. It is always a challenge to apply enough lume on the printed markings. However, it looks like Boderry managed to equip this dial with sufficient lume. It is not the brightest, so don't expect a diver level glow, however, it does seem to last the distance, which is pretty good at this price point. Bracelet. Okay. And before we draw a conclusion, let's take a closer look at this nylon strap that Boderry supplied with this watch. I'm actually somewhat impressed by this strap. Usually companies tend to supply generic straps in case like that and at this price point. This is not the case here though. This nylon Zulu style strap is of a good quality, and we even have a signed buckle, really nicely done and good attention to detail. The buckle and 2 metal keepers have similar finish and color to the watch case, which is good. I'm not actually sure, however, if this is also made out of titanium. Most likely not, but I think it is acceptable in this price point. And the rest of the strap is also done quite well, including the stitching around the keepers and the other side of the strap. This additional stitching at the end does help the strap to stay in place when fastened around the wrist and also might prevent this watch head sliding off the strap by accident. And here is this watch on my about 7-inch wrist. And here for reference it is on a 6¼ wrist. If it looks a bit on the large side, we still have 48mm lug-to-lug distance here, so to achieve a better fit we can replace this strap with a NATO-style strap or for a normal leather or rubber strap. Okay, the verdict. It is a pretty good timepiece, so this part should be quick. I do have to say though that handling this Boderry watch did spark my interest in the brand called Bertucci, but that is possibly for another video. So, yes, it is a very good watch with a very good execution from Boderry. I do have a couple of points though. First, the movement. I'm a bit surprised at the choice of movement, especially taking into account that Boderry even has its own movement, possibly not fully in-house developed, but modified to run at a higher frequency of 28,800 vibrations per hour and with a 72 hours of power reserve, so why not use it here? Or even Seiko NH35, which is actually thinner than this Miyota they opted for. So I think this watch could definitely benefit from some kind of movement upgrade. Not a deal breaker, but would be nice nevertheless. And my second point is, well, the design. I see how Boderry tried to make their mark on the design of this watch. More sophisticated, twisted lug forms, different lume application, removable spring bars, and now titanium bracelet option. However, is it enough to make it fully original? So the choice to go with a fairly close homage here is a bit surprising, taking into account that most Boderry watches have quite original designs. And also the brand that they decided to homage is, unlike let's say Rolex or AP, isn't that unattainable and is actually quite reasonably priced too. So I find this kind of puzzling. Other than that, we have here a very well executed titanium watch with titanium bracelet option at a very competitive price. What are your thoughts? Do let us know in the comments. And of course, if you find this review helpful, do hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It does help the channel. And as always, thank you for watching, take care, and I will see you in the next one.